Hello, I'm Steve. Welcome to the Patio Heat channel, where we create visual concepts of infrared heating as well as tips for outdoor comfort. Our one-on-one customer support helps you make the best decisions for your application. We strive to earn your business. Visit our patioheat.com website for sales and more information. Now let's get heating. All right, so we're actually going to do a redo on this one. I made an error in a clearance issue here, so I want to go ahead and make sure that we have this corrected. So basically we have here as a well-protected residential patio. We have a doorway here that swings into the residence. We have a sliding door here. We have a couple of fans and a TV set over here, fireplace down here. Also, there's two different seating arrangements that we have. I have just a casual seating down here, and then bar stool seating height over here. Also, there is a screened-in mesh, I believe, that drops down. And also, this might be a screened-in mesh area as well. So I'm not quite sure of those two items, but I believe those are still true. Let's go ahead and look at the overall dimensions that I have. So overall dimensions from this wall here to the wall over here, I have 20 feet right there. And then this opening section here, I have at 16 feet from this edge here to this edge here. I also have a ceiling height of 10 foot. You'll see 10'6" because I have it down here on this first step here, but it's actually 10 foot from the finished floor. Also, this edge over here I have at 8'9" from the finished floor, I believe, or actually it's 8'3" from this finished floor to this edge here. And then also I have a section here of about 1'9" from the bottom edge here to the ceiling over here. So fans are 4'11" in diameter, and as are two of the fans there. Also, the section of the wall back here, let's see if I can get in there. This section here is 7'6" from this edge here to this edge here. We're going to go ahead and look at the top down and just see the distances I have on these fans. So again, I have them centered within that 12-foot span here, so 6 foot to the center here, and then 6 foot to the outer edge of the wall here. Also 5 foot from the wall here to the center of the fan itself here, the drop down section. You can see here is 10 foot center to center, and the same is true on this side. 5 foot here, 6 foot from this edge here to this edge, and then 6 foot from the center to the outside edge over there. All right, let me go ahead and turn that off and look at let's see here. Look at a couple of different options. Now, we did speak of the fact that we have two different seating arrangements here, so let's go ahead and look at the first option, which would be attaching a few units to the ceiling. Now, this is where my error came in before on the last video, is this clearance here from this edge here to this edge here has to be 18 inches. And then from this edge here to anything that's combustible on this side, 18 inches. And from the top, when the CD, this is a CD 6024, 6,000 watt, 240 volt unit. When placed on a ceiling pointed straight down, you only are required 6 inches of clearance, and the same is true on this side over here. So 6 inches on top and 18 inches from this edge here to the edge of the heater itself, as well as the fans. Again, let's go ahead and turn on the dimensions of those fans so you can see that this 4'11" would fit without an issue. Let's go in here and just kind of look at it from this point of view. From down up, you can see that we're meeting all the clearances with regards to the fans if these are combustible fan blades. So, and the same is true on this side as well. All right, so let's go ahead and get out of here again, and there we go. All right, so these are centered within the patio itself. So that 20-foot section here, so it's 10-foot center on the patio itself. And let's go ahead and look at the footprint of heat. I'm going to take the screen off here because it's a little bit easier to maneuver. And you can see that the footprint of heat is fairly decent for the center section of the patio. We're missing this chair here entirely. Also, you should note that a 6,000 watt unit at this elevation for a bar stool seating height is probably too hot, so you'd really want to have a control system on it for the most part. Or you can go with a duplex switch, so you can turn one element on, one element off. This is a dual element unit. Each one's 3,000 watts. That way you could at least have this back section on full. The front section, if you're using this for bar stool seating, that 3,000 watts might be sufficient. Now, the one thing that I am concerned about, that I don't have the proper information, or nor could I really tell you that the proper issue with regards to a screen. So the clearance below the heater is 36 inches, and then again 18 inches on the side. We're missing the screen here, but you can see there is a place where the ray comes down and actually impacts that screen area, especially if it's lower than this. I have it at about 3 feet down right now. So if it's all the way down to the ground, then that could be an issue. I don't have the answer for that. But let's go ahead and look at the top again. Looking at the top, you can see that our coverage is primarily uniform throughout this whole span. And if you were going to use this for a different arrangement at different times, maybe moving the bar and putting some additional seating out here, or even a table or something of that nature, this would be more comfortable with the two 6,000 watt units. But again, at the height of a bar stool seating, this might be too warm in some cases. So just bear that in mind. All right, let me go ahead and turn that off and look at a different option that we might come up with. And that different option might be something like, let's see here, placing a unit like this. This is a 4,000 watt unit, and I have it placed at the same elevation as the bottom edge of this. I'm going to call this a supporting beam here. And when I say the same elevation, you need to have the heater itself at the same elevation if you're going to point it straight down to the ground. I have the extended brackets mounted on this particular unit. Those extended brackets are 6 inches longer than the standard bracket that comes with the heater, so you'd have to purchase those separately. However, I still do not know about that screen portion here, and you can see that the screen portion is impacted by that clearance zone, so that might be an issue. So this is just something to think about if something like this would work. And then if you were to mount something like this, then I would probably put one on the inside wall like this. Now with a 6,000 watt unit, again, this one on the right is a 4,000, but with a 6,000 watt here on a vertical surface like this, mounted at 45 degrees, it is required that you have now 12 inches of clearance from the top edge of the heater to the ceiling itself. So that may become an issue. Also, in reference to the fan, we want to make sure that here we go, that the clearances are still met, and I think that's still going to be true. Again, if these are non-combustible, then that wouldn't matter. You just wouldn't want the heat ray to penetrate the fan motor itself. But here you can see that that should not be an issue. You may want to move it a little bit. I don't have the exact dimensions and placement of the windows up here, so you may want to move it to the right a few more inches so you're not covering up the window. Other than that, I think this would be another decent application. And I say decent only because of the fact that we're still missing that this seating position over here with the heater mounted in this fashion. Also, you can see over here we're missing a little bit of the portion where your torso might be up here. But again, this is a very well protected area, so I would say that this is a potential of working okay. So that is the second option. Let's go ahead and look at a third option. Third option being possibly taking some 5,000 watt units. Sorry about that. Let me turn that one off. Taking the CD5024, so it's a 5,000 watt 240 volt. These are 39 inches long. They still require the same clearance above, 6 inches. They still require the same clearance on the side, 18 inches. And the same is true over here. Now, you can see with this, we may be in a little bit of the clearance of the fan blade. We don't know what the exact diameter of the fan blades are. So again, this is 4'11". So if that is an issue, that might be not feasible to do. Also, this would be probably, again, too hot for this. You definitely want a control system, at least on this one, probably all four, to regulate the amount of heat that you're placing in this area. But you can see here with this placement here, we're getting a good coverage throughout the seating arrangement here. So that would be 3 of the 5,000 watt units. And one thing, let's see if we can get the distances on these. So from this edge of the wall here, let me turn off the clearances here real quick. So yes, from this edge here of the wall to the center location of the heater, we have at 4 foot, and from that one to the center of the next, we have at let's see if we can get this out here properly. That's at 6 foot center to center, and then this one is in the center of the room itself. So just to bear that in mind. And let me go ahead and turn these off again and look at one final. I'm really going to just show this as a means that I'm actually, I actually do try to place it in different fashions, but this one here would be an issue because, again, we need that 18 inches of clearance on the left. We need 18 inches of clearance on the right. That would push the heater way too close to the fans. These are 6,000 watts mounted to the ceiling. And now this one in the middle would be okay, but the only way that we can make this something like this work is, number one, moving the fans potentially. Let me turn off this screen again. Moving the fans themselves. If we did that, it's possible that this might work, not knowing the actual fan diameter. So I just moved it. Let's go 12 inches here. Let's look at the bottom clearance, and you can see that we're still in that clearance zone on both sides, even moving the fan just 12 inches into the center of the room. So this would still be an issue unless these fan blades are non-combustible. But if they were non-combustible, and you could potentially you could even leave it like this, let's say, because they're non-combustible. So here's the clearances below. We're not hitting the motor or anything of that nature, but we do have a nice footprint of heat throughout this whole entire span. And also the space here on the right with the bar stool seating. We're not really capturing all of this outside edge, but if it was a colder day, you could push the seats to the inside, or possibly not. But in any case, you can see over here we did move this heater to the right, so we have 18 inches of clearance on this end here to the wall, and then we need to make sure we maintain 18 inches of clearance to this point here. We don't want that ray to penetrate the television set here, so you can see here we're good with that as well. But this would be another good application if in fact we do not have the issue with regards to the combustible fan blades. So all right, well, I hope this has helped. If you're looking for some assistance with your outdoor heating application and you would like us to review your plans, please send your information into designs@patioheat.com. I'm Steve. Please tap that like button. We don't advertise, we're not monetized. YouTube does not promote our channel in any way unless we receive thumbs up from our viewers, and we truly appreciate that. Thank you. Have an excellent day.